Brave new world, America fights back.
Good evening. They were built to be the center of our universe, at least symbolically, soaring monuments to American optimism and aspirations until the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center and thousands of innocent lives were lost in a mountain of sorrow. In the 18 days since then, U.S. forces have been on the move, preparing to strike back at the terrorists. At home, too, we're on heightened alert. But the very first battlefront in America's new war is still right here in New York City. Those towers, now a monument to heroes, and the biggest crime scene in our history. Tonight, 48 hours in the war against terrorism, including unprecedented access to the men and women who toil so bravely and diligently to help the nation recover. We started our cameras rolling with Peter Van Sant, beginning with a moment when time stood still.
WCBS News Time, 8:48.
Traffic and weather together now. Tom Kavinsky.
Let's go over to the BQE and go on. It's very heavy volume from Queens Boulevard down to the Williamsburg Bridge. More volume down to the Brooklyn Bridge.
It's 8:48 on Tuesday morning. 2 weeks to the day, to the minute, that the first hijacked jet was flown into the World Trade Center. And here at Ground Zero, where more than 6,000 people are still missing, the solemn search for any sign of life goes on. But even this vital work must stop to remember those thousands who are lost somewhere in these mountains of debris.
All right, Chris, fire them up, go back to work.
What was going through your mind during that moment of silence?
You know, so many people have been lost here, and we haven't recovered a good number of them.
Assistant Fire Chief Frank Fellini has been at Ground Zero since the first hours of the attack.
Almost every firefighter working here, every police officer working here knew some of these people. I can't tell, I've met 5 or 6 firefighter fathers looking for firefighter sons, and 5 or 6 firefighter sons looking for firefighter fathers. I mean, one officer, a man I worked with for years in Brooklyn, is looking for 2 sons. One's a police officer, one's a firefighter.
This hallowed ground is America's bloodiest battlefield in its war with terrorism. 48 hours was granted unprecedented access to Ground Zero.
This is the pit. You can't go down any further. I'll hold your belt if you want to get a little closer. Watch your step here. These guys in 48 hours, I gotta
including the devastated offices around the World Trade Center buildings. We were also taken behind the scenes of the command center run by New York's Office of Emergency Management. An army of 20,000 city, state, and federal workers, as well as volunteers, are on the front lines, carefully sifting through debris. While Mayor Giuliani has been leading the public charge, his top general is an unassuming career bureaucrat.
This is Mr. Scaleback right here.
Named Richard Sheirer. We refer to you as Mayor Giuliani's Giuliani.
Well, I take that as a high compliment. I love him personally. I think he's the greatest mayor we've ever had.
Sheirer, a father of 5 who has worked for the city for 34 years, is director of the Mayor's Office of Emergency Management, the agency that is the nerve center of the rescue and recovery effort.
So our job is to coordinate the many agencies. We have over 100, well over 100 agencies, and we have usually 300 to 500 people here 24 hours a day.
Is that doctor gone?
Shearer's job is more than tough.
Thank you. Sheirer.
Just after the second plane hit, there were desperate decisions to make.
One of the things that I had to do that I'll never forget was tell my guys that under no circumstances could another plane hit the tower.
He was asking the police to crash their helicopters into any other planes that might be attacking the towers.
There are a lot of decisions you have to make that when we get the time to sit down and think about them, they'll haunt us.
The city's original command center was destroyed when World Trade Center No. 7 collapsed just hours after the Twin Towers fell. Within 48 hours, Sheirer and his people built a new command center inside a massive pier.
By the way, did the new Sanborns come in?
Engineers pore over old maps.
This is for lower Manhattan.
And create new ones.
We can provide information to the field so that they know what they're walking over and what they might encounter as they go into the wreckage.
The FBI tracks its investigators in the field.
All right, give me 5 minutes.
The sanitation department directs its trucks at ground zero. And a weather station watches approaching storms.
If the winds get strong, reach 20 miles an hour, they'll notify the crane operators to stop operations.
It's going to turn your head.
The command center is designed to solve every problem.
Perfect.
It's an impressive operation.
No.
But Sheirer is nothing if not modest.
You don't mind if I call you a hero, do you?
No, I'm no hero. I'm just the guy that does his work. The heroes are down there, down at the World Trade Center. The heroes are the people here that work 18, 20, 22 hours a day.
And those heroes are about to pull down what's left of one of the Twin Towers. As night falls, Ground Zero becomes a dramatic landscape of destruction, bathed in stadium light. It is a place Sheirer finds painful.
You don't like to get too close here.
No.
Why is that?
There are a lot of friends of mine still in there. Fellows whose fathers are friends of mine, and it's very painful. And I want to give them the respect and the dignity that they deserve.
Where are you sleeping at night?
Sheirer has been touched by efforts from all over.
Where are you from?
My from is Mexico. It's Mexico City.
Including this rescue team, who spent their own money and drove their own car 58 hours with no pay to be part of Richard Sheirer's army.
When the United States need help, the people in Mexico come to help because it's brothers.
Everybody's still on a mission here, aren't they?
Oh yeah, everybody. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can come down here, you think it's high noon. And that's the way it's got to be.
It's now 2:40 on Wednesday morning, and the search goes on. In fact, they just lowered a group of searchers on top of this giant rubble pile behind me. They still believe that someone inside all of that may still be alive.
But on this night, the grim reality for the searchers is finding only the remains of 5 firefighters.
Do you believe that anyone could still be alive in that mess?
It would be a miracle, but I like to believe there still are miracles. I think everyone here wants nothing more than to hear that they've got someone alive. But it would take a miracle.
There's just no way that I could sit.
Director of New York's Office of Emergency Management, the people who have given us nearly 48 hours of complete access.
These are people that work 18, 20 hours a day, come back every day, and deal with the same thing over and over.
Eddie runs this desk, the epicenter of the operation, dedicated to finding the missing, investigating the crime, and restoring the city to normalcy.
Working with fire and all the people that are working real hard out at the site, trying to make sure that they have the things they need.
Good morning.
Today, a major shift.
We began the process of issuing death certificates at 9 o'clock this morning.
Is this a significant step forward in the realization that there may not be any survivors out there?
No, I mean, I think that everybody who works out there at that pile doesn't want to think like that. These are really heroes using hands and legs and machinery to try to save people's lives.
I guess I have to continue to believe that there may be some live people that we might be able to rescue.
Ann Wickman is one of those who refuse to give up hope.
I just need to be here.
She and her dog Jenner are veterans in search and rescue operations.
When Jenner is at work, what's he doing?
He's been trained, Peter, to locate human scent.
Dispatched from Boulder, Colorado, this is their second day on the pile.
I think these dogs that are here feel the sadness of this situation.
So far, Jenner hasn't found anyone alive.
I was in the Tet Offensive, you know. I was in the Asho Valley, and I was in Hamburger Hill when it was overrun. And this looks worse.
Vietnam veteran and sanitation worker George Grievous is once again a foot soldier, this time in America.
I haven't seen nothing like this since 1968.
George's battle today is cleaning the streets, taking back New York from the rubble.
Whatever they ask us to do, we do. That's it. That's the bottom line.
They're feeding us from the pile, the main pile, the steel, and then we cut it up so that it can be carted away.
Iron worker Ted Standis is from Long Island. Usually he builds skyscrapers. Today, he is taking one apart.
What have you seen out in this rubble?
I've seen a few body parts, and yesterday we came across an arm.
That must be difficult.
It is, but like I said, you just try to stay focused on what you're here for and your purpose.
It didn't flash. Does that matter?
Back at the command center, the cast of The Sopranos has come to boost morale. But Eddie Gabriel is more impressed by a school teacher's letter from Pennsylvania.
My daughter is 2 years old. When we finish her bedtime prayers, we've been saying, God bless our country and keep us safe. Thank you.
John Pickwood lives in Harlem. He's been hauling trash for 9 years.
Thank you.
For 15 days, he has been carrying the World Trade Center.
Is this an emotional job for you guys compared to what you normally haul in?
Pretty much, because all the guys on this operation volunteered, so they want to be a part of this operation, and they want to help out and get some closure for the families.
But it hasn't been easy.
Well, I had a piece of a fire truck, and I knew that that was somebody's father, somebody's son in there. Words just don't describe the feeling of having something like that.
John's Trade Center debris is taken to a barge. Before it's dumped, FBI agents look for evidence. They even soak the debris just in case a black box from one of the airliners is inside. Water causes a black box to ping. Hearing no sound, the FBI allows John to dump his load into a barge. Next stop, the final resting place for the World Trade Center, the Fresh Kills landfill in Staten Island.
Basically, being out there at Fresh Kill is an eerie feeling because, to me, it's like being at the graveyard of the World Trade because you got all the debris and it's all spread out. And it's such an eerie feeling being up there.
It's a feeling that John will be experiencing for months to come.
It's going to be a long time before Ground Zero is back to normal.
Very long time. Very long time. Anywhere from just to remove the debris, 180 to 200 days. Right now, my focus is on the moment, day by day.